On a calm, sun-washed afternoon, when soft golden light stretched across the parking lot of the old red-trimmed diner, an aching scene quietly took shape, so harsh and so unexpected that it could shake anyone to their core. It all began with an elderly, hearing-impaired woman named Mariel Hayes, who stood near the diner entrance clutching her small purse, her fragile fingers trembling as she tried to understand the moving lips of the teenagers around her. But they weren't offering help. They weren't checking on her. Instead, led by Rhodes Mercer, they circled her while recording her on their phones, laughing at her confusion as if her struggle was some kind of entertainment. In that moment, the world felt unbearably cruel. Before we move forward, tell us in the comments, where are you watching from and what time is it right now? And don't forget to like and subscribe to Black and Wronged for more heart-touching stories. Let's get started. As Mariel tried to quietly step away, Rhodes Mercer lunged toward her, lifting a fake microphone he used for his childish online prank videos. His friends burst into hysterical laughter, while their phone camera stayed fixed on her confused, frightened expression. Without warning, Rhodes bumped his shoulder into her, not violently, but just enough to knock her off balance. Her frail body staggered, and she collapsed onto the rough pavement, her palms scraping painfully across the ground. The meal she had bought for herself slipped from her hand and rolled across the asphalt, untouched and forgotten. With trembling fingers, she reached toward it, as if clinging to the only small comfort she had left, her face heavy not with tears, but with a silent kind of sorrow that pressed in from every direction. The teenagers howled louder, cars drove by, strangers stared, yet not a single person stepped forward. Mariel tried to push herself upright, but her hands quivered too violently. She appeared utterly adrift, like a dried leaf tossed around by an uncaring wind, unable to steady itself no matter how hard it tried. Then the low rumble started, barely audible at first, like distant thunder rolling under the earth. The teenagers laughed, paying no attention, until the vibration grew stronger, shaking the asphalt beneath their feet. Even the bullies froze, heads turning as the sound intensified. One motorcycle appeared, then another, then a line of roaring engines filled the air, impossible to ignore. Slowly, 9 bikers clad in black, leather and steel insignias cruised into the diner's parking lot, moving in a controlled, deliberate formation. They weren't reckless troublemakers. Every motion carried weight and purpose, like a moving wall of engines and determination. Their leather jackets bore the emblem of the Guardians of Solace, a group respected in town for supporting elderly neighbors, veterans, and anyone living alone and in need. Leading them was a massive figure, Victor, his white beard neatly braided at the tip. Locals often spoke of him quietly, calm and kind, but relentless when faced with injustice. The instant Victor spotted Mariel Hayes lying on the ground, something shifted in his gaze. He didn't need to hear the chaos around him. Suffering spoke clearly in every language. Disrespect, however, left a mark that couldn't be ignored. He killed his engine, stepping off his bike with a measured intensity that seemed to thicken the very air. Each step of his heavy boots pressed down on the pavement like a silent warning, his towering shadow stretching over Rhodes Mercer and his gang, carved sharply in the sunlight. The rest of the Guardians of Solace spread out behind Victor, forming a protective half-circle around Mariel and the teenagers. Rhodes Mercer tried to joke, tried to brush it off, but his voice trembled and broke. Before he could stammer out an excuse, Victor knelt beside Mariel with unexpected care. He gently supported her back, helping her sit upright, then lifted her fallen burger as if it were the most precious thing in the world. Mariel's eyes met his, confusion giving way to relief. And then something tender, a feeling of finally being truly seen. Victor wasn't angry with her. His anger was reserved for them. Slowly, he stood and faced the teens, his expression hard and unwavering. The quiet between them spoke louder than any words. One by one, the teens lowered their phones, shame washing over their faces. They had expected an easy target, someone frail and frightened. But what they faced instead was a steadfast presence. Victor, without raising his voice, gave a subtle signal to one of his riders, Selene. Calmly, she moved forward and helped Mariel Hayes rise to her feet. Her hands moved gracefully, signing slowly and clearly, "You are safe now." For the first time in what felt like years, Mariel felt a sense of protection wash over her. The Guardians of Solace didn't shout. They didn't make threats. They simply held their ground, 9 silent figures, radiating quiet strength and honor. One by one, the teenagers took a step back, smaller and more hesitant with each movement, realizing some forms of justice need no words at all. The guilt they felt burned brighter than any words Victor could have spoken. In silence, the bullies slowly walked away, their harshness fading in the face of true courage. Victor gently guided Mariel Hayes to a booth inside the diner. The staff, watching anxiously, stepped forward with steaming drinks and a freshly prepared meal. Selene stayed close, signing calm and reassuring messages to Mariel. Victor remained near the entrance, vigilant. Before we move on, take a moment to share in the comments a kind word you would want an elderly or vulnerable person to hear today. Small gestures can ripple in ways we never imagine. On that day, bravery and empathy rode in together, proving that even a few determined hearts can turn cruelty into hope.